What's up? It's Sean McKins here with 31-ish horror films of October. I worked late. I'm pretty tired. Uh, so I might not be able to do this next film justice. I decided to watch a science fiction movie. Went through Amazon Prime, randomly picked a science fiction film, and I came across the second best science fiction movie ever. That's the title. Second best science fiction movie ever. And this movie is bonkers. It's an incredible feat, I feel like. People always talk about Troll 2 or The Room for being bad movies. And sometimes I think that is an inaccurate label for things. Sometimes things are just so different that some people can't wrap their mind about how different and unusual they are. And I think the second best science fiction movie ever made accomplished something that a lot of people don't strive for, and it's just sort of like making as different and a weird a film as possible. And I don't know, maybe they were trying to do something very plot driven and even keeled, but I don't know. This is a crazy film, and according to IMDb, it was shot in '96, and I think it might have even been shot on 35 millimeter, and then it was finally released in 2010. And although it's not 16 by 9, it's 4 by 3. The story is bizarre. I don't know. I can't wrap my mind around this film. I feel like more people should really know about this. Maybe they were trying to create something that would be spoofed by like a Mystery Science Theater thing. I'm stymied by this movie, but I think it's great. I think more people really should watch it. It's just so out there and bizarre. The story is about 8 astronauts who launched into space years ago, and they were thought to be dead because we lost contact with them, but they were just sort of snatched up by a benevolent alien race and taken to a different world, which they loved living at, but somehow some of them contracted an alien virus which made them crazy and angry. So then there were sort of two different warring factions of humans. And the aliens sent them back down to Earth to sort of figure it all out, or to kill each other and, settle the score or whatever. More people should watch this film. It's just so out there. The characters are very bizarre and interesting. Because they've all sort of changed being in this alien world. By the way, I've only just explained the prologue to you. That's just like the first minute of the film. When we meet these humans, they are in a suburb, and they all meet other people in the suburb, people cutting their lawn and hosing off their cars and stuff, and they meet children looking for dogs, and they're trying to find this one, like, junior high school, because that's where they've, decided on to meet up, because they were all beamed down at different locations in this suburb. And, why are they trying to meet at a school? Probably because the filmmakers knew that they were going to be able to shoot there. But these characters are bizarre. There's a guy with a weird sort of papier-mâché head, but sometimes he's not a guy with a giant head. Sometimes he shrinks down into a young Korean girl. There's 2 people who are mutes. I think they're married, and they spend the movie just sort of flipping around, like tossing each other around. They're gymnasts, and that's how they fight too, by throwing themselves into their opponents. This movie is crazy. I don't know. I do wish more people would see it. They get into so many weird adventures. There's one guy who couldn't walk when he was on Earth, when he was an astronaut, but then when he got launched to this alien world, his body morphed, and now he can walk, but he can only run, and he just runs everywhere. There's a guy who's completely honest and say whatever's on his mind, and all these people get into weird adventures in this suburb, where all the filmmakers lived, probably. Shot in 1996, released in 2010. The music in this is so impressive. There are some points where you can sort of kind of not hear what people are saying because it's a little bit, the mix is a little off. But there's different music for every single scene, which is kind of a feat. One of my favorite scenes is the two characters. I'm not even describing all of the weird characters in this thing. But there's one scene where two people are in a convenience store and they're trying to get directions, and some guy comes in who says the lottery ticket bought was wrong because he specifically asked for the numbers that eventually won. And there's a little bit of an argument, and then the storekeeper was like, well, I'll give you your money back. And the guy's like, yeah, great, $100 million. That's what the lottery was. And there's this weird, how do you not know how the lottery works kind of thing. But then he just pulls out a gun from nowhere. I'm not doing this movie justice. The second best science fiction movie ever made. I'm sure that they were very tongue-in-cheek about stuff. In some points, the characters, their neck starts bulging in a glowing red. I don't think that's even explained. I guess that's just part of the virus thing. There's a character who's blind, but is sometimes a man and sometimes a woman. Yeah, please check this out. The second best science fiction movie ever made. They won somehow. They accomplished something. I don't know if they made what they set out to make, but I think it's a triumph somehow. It's like a low-budget B-movie, weird-ass triumph. And I don't know what else to say about it. All right, tune in next time.